Alright, how's it going? Today, right now, we will see a quick replay analysis. This is a 1200 ELO Lee Sin jungle game. So that's what we will see. Just gonna go ahead and tweet this real quick. Alright, so as usual, I enjoy chatting with people. If you're catching this live, jump into the Twitch chat. If you're catching this on YouTube or my Twitch channel, please like and subscribe. And why don't you leave a comment and tell me something that you learned from this lesson, or something that you wish I had done differently. Just any kind of feedback would be good. Go ahead and pop out my Twitch chat so I'm ready to go. And we'll just... yeah, we'll go ahead and get started here. Let me just pull up the replay. It'll take me a second. Alright, here we go. So we're just going to jump right into this. This is a 1200 ELO Lee Sin jungle replay. Just some quick updates on me. And as far as our team, we've had some roster changes lately with our team. Right now, our current mid player is now Echo. He's a great guy, really enjoying playing with him. He plays a mean Gragas. We unfortunately just lost our AD carry. Our AD carry from Maple Street quit. I don't really want to go into details there, but I'll just kind of summarize it by saying that he didn't enjoy playing with us, and we didn't exactly enjoy playing with him, so he decided to move on, and it's kind of a mutual decision. So. But let's go ahead, that's enough about me, let's focus on this replay. So you are Lee Sin jungle against a Nautilus jungle. So Nautilus is going to have very heavy ganking power, and Lee Sin, you're going to have very heavy ganking power. You're also going to be probably able to duel this Nautilus, so you're going to be able to counter jungle relatively safely, especially since you have Flash. Taking Exhaust on Lee Sin will make your ganks stronger and make you more deadly for your ganks, but Flash would make you're much safer with Flash. You can counter jungle a lot easier. Now the Cloth 5 start, that's a very safe start, but it's almost too safe. With Lee Sin, you don't really need to start Cloth 5. If you get a very strong leash on your first camp, you'll be fine starting like Boots and 3 potions. Especially if you decide to level your W, your shield, instead of Q, especially once you get a few points in W, you're going to sustain really well, and you're not going to need any help there. Maybe I'll put this down. Okay, there. Okay. Anyway, so you're starting blue, and that's okay. If you're starting blue, one thing you could consider is you might consider stealing Nautilus's red buff. Nautilus is almost always going to start blue, so you know he'll start blue. His clear isn't that fast. You might be able to do it before he even gets there, and even if you run into him, you do have Flash. You can flash over the Dragon Wall and be relatively safe. The other thing is that Nautilus, there's a good chance that he will go and gank top lane. So when you're jungling, you want to try to think, what is the enemy jungler going to do, and how should I react to that? So like, okay, Nautilus is starting blue. He might gank top right away. If he does that, what am I going to do? So if Nautilus ganks top, your options are like, okay, I think I'm like 90% sure he's going to gank top, I'm going to counter gank it. That's a really good play. If you are like really sure or have a really good idea where their jungler is going to be, you can try to counter gank that. So if going into this game you thought Nautilus was really going to gank Riven right away, you could have started your red buff and gone for the counter gank right away. And then you would have red buff and Nautilus would have blue buff, so you'd probably be stronger in that 2v2 fight. What ability did you start with? Looks like you started E and then Q. That's fine. Oh no, I don't have sound on my replay right now. I'm not sure. I guess we'll just be really quiet. Just really focus on the sounds of my voice for this one. So I like this. You're pulling the red all the way back. You can actually even pull it a little further into that brush. Looks like you're almost doing that. And this is good. Were you able to save your smite? Yeah, it looks like you're able to save your smite on the blue buff, so this is really good. But one thing to note already is that Nautilus did go ahead and gank top. So I'm actually going to pause this real quick to talk about this. So, alright, you stole his red buff, which was good, and he ganked top. Now, there are a few things that you need to realize. A, your Riven is going to need your help. Darius is a very snowbally champion. If he gets ahead early, he can just snowball that and crush his lane. So Riven is going to be really far behind. You see Darius is going to push this out, maybe, and Riven might miss like almost an entire wave of experience. That's going to set her really far behind. So you're going to have to help her out. That's automatically first thing. If you want Riven to be a factor in this game, you have to help her out. That's the first thing to realize. The second thing to realize is Nautilus may take your blue. If you show yourself here, take your red. If you show yourself, Nautilus could easily take your red because you're not in that half of the jungle. So you might not want to show yourself after this. You might not want to try to force this bottom gank, because if you force this bottom gank and fail, Nautilus will take your red buff. These are the things that you should always be thinking about when you're jungling. Okay, where is the enemy jungler? What did he do? What's my counterplay? What am I about to do? And what's the jungler's counterplay? So that's what needs to be your mindset when you're jungling. You need to be thinking about all of these things. Let's see. Looks like you're just going to go clear more of his jungle. Looks like you missed the Q on the double golems. I'm not sure what that was. That's okay though. Yeah, just more farming in his jungle is fine. It's going to put him further and further behind. So, one way to evaluate your performance as a jungler, you essentially want to see, okay, what impact am I having on the game, and what impact are they having on the game? And you know, hopefully your impact is greater. Or if you're like trying to farm up, hopefully you're farming more so that your impact will be greater later on. This bot gank is pretty awkward. One thing that would have been really effective is if, since Uranus jungle ceiling's red, if you came through here, they would not have had any vision on you. Especially at lower elos, like people tend not to ward this tribe rush as blue side because they don't expect the jungler to be in there, or even at higher levels. Like for my team, I don't like warding this as support, this tribe rush. I like having a ward up here in our jungle because it offers the same vision. Like if you're to have bottom lane protected from blue side, if you have a ward in this jungle exit and a ward in this jungle entrance, they can't get through this tribe rush without you seeing them go through a ward and having your heads up. But anyway, looks like if you go on to clear your red buff here, you will have you'll have taken 3 out of the 4 buffs on their first round, which is good. That's really good buff control. That's going to set the Nautilus a little bit behind, but he did get that first blood. So that first blood is saving him. That's going to let him get his first GP10 really early. That's going to let him snowball and still be relevant in this game. So the other thing to note is, like, you need to help this Riven. Fortunately, it looks like the lane is pretty much frozen, so you're not going to be able to help her right now. But you need to be constantly looking at top and being like, okay, is this a situation where I can help my Riven yet? Okay, can I help her yet? Can I help her yet? Because she's probably going to need that help. Excuse me. At this point, bottom lane is very gankable. One thing you can do on Lee Sin, especially, is you can just come and run right through the lane, especially on bottom lane. If bottom lane gets pushed up and they're up here, or it works as well on top lane too, any of the longer lanes. If they get pushed up near your turret, you just run through the lane, W onto either like your melee minions that are on top of Kog'Maw or whatever, or communicate with your team and have your bottom lane like start a fight, and then you run through the lane and jump on them. That can be very strong. Looks like you're gonna run into Nautilus here. You don't know this is happening. I wouldn't try to fight this right now because Diana has low mana and is not really close to you. Alright, so you're gonna have to flash there. So that's a little unfortunate. You seem to take a lot of damage from that Nautilus. I'm not sure what kind of runes and masteries you're running here, but generally, like when you're jungling MR or MR per level blues can be really helpful. Just because you're going to take a lot of magic damage anytime you try to gank, especially like mid. So it can be really helpful. But excuse me. Anyway, when you're jungling, you want to see how your lanes are going. So let me organize the lanes so that it's all paired up. So mid's going pretty well. It's just about even. Top lane Darius is getting ahead of Riven. You know, he got that assist. He's ahead in CS. He built GP10, so he's going to be snowballing even further ahead just because of the fact that he has GP 10 and you do not. Looks like trying to force a gank on Ahri. Ahri has no mana, and neither did Nautilus, so you don't have to be really too scared there. But anyway, bottom lane is still really pushed up in prime for a ganking, so if you want to look for a gank, this is a very strong lane to gank. Especially when you're jungle, you want to consider like what kind of gank potential do your lanes have. If you have something like Soraka Kog'Maw level 2, like they can't do much to help you in a gank. That lane doesn't have much gank potential for you. But Lux and Graves, that's a lot of gank potential for you. If Lux lines a binding, you guys are pretty much guaranteed to kill someone because that's a lot of damage on that comp that you have. So you want to consider like team comps and ganking potential is one thing. The other thing is that they have not based yet, so there are no wards in this bottom lane, and that's another thing you want to consider. And unfortunately, there's their only ward you just walked through, so that's one thing you want to consider. Bottom lane, oftentimes neither side will base until this point where there are no wards up at about like 8 minutes. That's like both rounds of wards have gone down, and so wards are going to be clear. And this is one thing that I want to talk about. Like, if you're going to force a lane gank as a jungler, you can only do that if it's pushing for you. Like if it's pushing towards your tower, that's when you can do a lane gank, because they're stepping forwards and they're stepping into you. But if it's pushing the other way, they're stepping away from you just naturally with how the lane is set up. Like how the lane is set up and how the lane is pushing is already setting them up to run away from you, and that's not how you want to force a gank. They actually just dunked all over Sona. Good bind by Lux. But at this point, if you want to evaluate your jungle performance, you need to evaluate your performance versus this Nautilus. And so far, you've had no impact on any of your lanes, whereas Nautilus has already gotten first blood in a top lane and pressured mid lane some. And what you have done is you managed to deny him his red buff, his first red buff. But that didn't slow him down any. That really, and you still have a fair amount of his jungle, but he's still level 5, about halfway to 6. And you just hit 6, so you're slightly ahead in experience, which is good. Now, hopefully that means that you're stronger, and you're going to be able to apply a lot more pressure right now, while you're 6 and he's 5. So you need to be looking at your lanes and saying, okay, what lanes have gank potential? So it becomes not just team comp, but also how are the lanes going? I'm going to speed some stuff up while we watch you clear your jungle. Okay, so I want to talk about this right now. This is not in a very gankable lane. The lane is at Darius's turret. It just reset, but it's still going to be pushed on the other side. He's very tanky. He's not low at all. You don't have red buff. Your red buff was up. It's easy to take right now. And Riven's and the lane is pushing back. So this is a lot of wasted time on an inopportune gank. The other thing is they actually did see you through a ward, but I mean, assuming you don't really know that, this is not gankable. This is not a good ganking position. And we actually see Ahri just dunked on Diana. Didn't look like Nautilus got an assist for that. But so this is wasted time, and this would have been a much more valuable use of your time if maybe you got red buff first. But you need to do something there. If you're walking up there and wasting time top, you need to do something. So turns out he saw you and he just backs out, and that means a lot of wasted time in your part. Excuse me. I'm tired today. I don't know why. But anyway, let's go ahead and fast forward here. It's like you're walking into their jungle. This is kind of scary, because you're kind of half health, but it's not too bad. Alright, so Riven is just getting dunked. She actually lives, and Diana is going to pick up the kill here. So the first gank and you flash, yeah, I think that flash might have been necessary. So that was a good Q, a good flash Q to secure that kill. But the first gank that happened for this Riven actually came from Diana. Diana came first, so as jungler, like, that needs to be your job to help your lane get back into the game after their jungler hooks, you know, their Nautilus got their Darius first blood. That's a big advantage. Now it falls on you to help Riven get that back. Because if if Nautilus goes top, get Darius first blood. Darius has that advantage and can snowball that advantage further and further. Nautilus doesn't have to do anything else to top lane, and top lane will win. Like, that's it. That leaves Nautilus to focus purely on mid and bottom. And so right there, like, he's had more control over the game and more pressure than you have. If we're talking about build, going into a Hex Drinker there, that's okay. The reason why I'm kind of hesitant is like, yes, Ahri will do magic damage, Kog'Maw will do some magic damage, Sona does magic damage, but like, your Darius is going to be very heavy physical along with Kog'Maw. So Hex Drinker's okay, it's not bad. There are a lot of different ways you can build Lee Sin. Hex Drinker is a really good item on him. So I mean, I'm not like really excited about the Hex Drinker, but I think that's fine. There are lots of different ways you can build Lee Sin. You can go straight damage, blood. The AD is really strong in Lee Sin. You can go straight, like Bloodthirster is a really good item if you get ahead early. You can also build tankier, like in Aegis of the Legion is a very strong item to pick up on Lee Sin. So is Frozen Mallet, just any slightly tankier items. Alright, so this is good gank timing for you. The wave's at Riven's turret and just being here, but Nautilus is actually playing, or Darius is actually playing pretty smart, and he's just hanging back because he is afraid of your ganks. So that's good. That shows that you have a presence in this lane. This Darius is respecting you, and that's something that you always, your goal as a jungler is to establish presence in all the lanes. If you're constantly in a jungler, like in the enemy lane's heads, where they're not going aggressive or they're altering their play for fear that you might be there, then like you're doing your job as a jungler. That's really important. I don't know if you actually snuck into that brush. That was really close. Let's see that. Let's see that again. Yeah, it looks like you were able to sneak into that brush, so that's good. He doesn't know you're there. But he's playing so passive. Oh, I mistimed it. Okay, let's see that again. Let's speed this up. Okay, but right? Okay. Yeah, so you snuck in there. That's good. But he's playing so passive right now, and so you're wasting a lot of time trying to force this gank that just doesn't seem to be happening. And so that's twice now that you've ended up wasting a lot of time top, and during that time when you were just sitting there wasting time, Nautilus got a successful gank on bottom. So you've still, like, Nautilus has still applied a lot more pressure in the lanes than you have. Diana picking up the kill on Ahri, very nice. Very nice tower dive, picking that up. So there you go, there's some counter pressure. You have to be a little careful because Darius is on the hunt. Sneaky recall in the Wolf Brush, I like that. Alright, so one thing as a jungler that you want to do is you obviously want to control your buffs, which you've done a pretty good job at. I don't think you've lost any of your own buffs so far. The other thing is obviously dragon control. So one thing you like to do is when dragon's up, you can look to get a successful gank bot lane and then take the dragon right away off that. And now you're going to have red buff, your ganking potential is going to be considerably higher. So now is the time that you want to look to force plays when you have red buff on Lee Sin. Your ganks are extremely deadly with red buff. You already stick to people pretty good, and when you just add a red buff on top of that, like if you get on someone, you're never going to get off of them just between your mobility and everything else. And we actually see Nautilus getting more ganks bottom. So your bottom lane is kind of getting dunked by this Nautilus, and this Nautilus is having a lot more pressure than you are. I'll go ahead and change it to 1x speed. And it's good that you're hanging around here. Very nice pickup on that kill right there. So you're hanging around there, making sure that they're not doing dragon, which is very good. And picking up that kill, very nice. That'll teach him to stick around with no health. But you should look, right now you just killed the Nautilus, you know they're recalling because they were low. You should immediately look to like push this mid. There's a big creep stack. Diana's not even pushing it to the tower for some reason. I guess she's scared. But you could have shoved that out for Diana mid, and that would have denied Ahri all of this like wave and a half. And instead she's probably going to get there. She might miss like 2, but she's going to be there for most of it. But you need to keep up, you need to pressure bottom at this point. Nautilus had a lot of presence bottom, and you've had very little, and they're falling behind. You don't want to let a Kog'Maw, get strong and get ahead of an enemy champion, because Kog'Maw is just too strong. Late game Kog'Maw is a monster. And Darius looks like Riven's having some trouble against Darius. But if you look at lanes are doing, Riven's like 20 CS behind Darius. Riven's having a hard time. And you've tried to gank for Riven, but your gank timings have been really awkward, and they haven't been going well. And so, while it may feel like you've ganked for top a lot, you haven't really. You've essentially not. This is really good dragon timing because Nautilus is top. So, good heads up play by you. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. I don't know what just happened. Oh, Bug Splat. What is that about? What the heck? I guess we try again. I don't know what that was about. Say hi to my Twitch viewers. Oh, my headset is like so ghetto right now. It's a $5 headset I ordered off Amazon like a week ago, and I've like sat on it and broke both ends, like both speaker ends have broken off the like headband that goes over. So you see I have like awesome Scotch tape. Look at that. The Scotch tape repair. I should probably update my LoL replay. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't remember how far in. Bug Splat again. I don't know what's going on with it. Alright, we'll try this one more time, and if it doesn't work again, I'm probably just going to call this out. Which is unfortunate, because you're 4-0 and you're doing pretty well so far in this game. And so... where did my replay go? Did I not? Okay, now I'm getting annoyed. Low replay. You're pissing me off. Yes, I want to close the existing match and launch a new match. This one. Come on. Alright. Let's try this again. Anyway, so far in this game you've been playing pretty well. You've had awkward gank timings on top lane. Part of it was the Darius playing very passively, but you've wasted a lot of time trying to force these ganks top lane that haven't done anything for your team and have just set you behind. Why you've been doing that, Nautilus has put a lot of pressure at bottom and has started securing some bottom lane kills and getting them back in the game because your bottom lane was doing well on their own. And at this point, you just secured a dragon for your team, which is really good. It was great dragon timing. I don't remember when it was. It was a little bit after this. No. Yeah, you pick up the Nautilus kill, that was good. And then you don't push mid, which you could have pushed. And then Nautilus goes top, and you take Dragon with Graves. Really good play there. And Bug Splatted again. Okay. So something seems to be broken with either your replay specifically or my LoL replay. Bummer. But so far, you're playing well. You're doing pretty well. The only thing is that, like I said, right away, that Nautilus got first blood for their Darius, and so Riven was in trouble, needed your help, and you haven't been able to help her yet. That's the only thing that I can say about your game so far, is you spent a lot of time trying to force these awkward ganks top that didn't work out. And that's, it's not helping your Riven get back in the game, and it's letting Nautilus get their bottom lane back in the game. And that dragon was really good, so you're playing pretty well. But you're about equal with Nautilus, I'd say. I'd say Nautilus has influenced the lanes a lot more than you have, but picking up that dragon was good. and so that's really helpful for your team. So I think like to the point where I've watched, you're about even with their Nautilus. So unfortunately, I mean, I wish I could watch the rest, but my law replay seems to be being weird. My dog is being cute. She wants my attention. We'll do dog cam for a little bit while I'm figuring this out. Cody, what you doing? What you doing? Hey, girl. I don't know what's going on with my law replay, but it seems like it's bugged, so I guess I'm just gonna call it here. Unfortunately, that really sucks. So I'm really sorry, guys, but that will have to be it for now. My streaming schedule is going to be changing here as my team is... Well, you shush. Just hold on. Wait your turn. That was her really girly bark. That was her more manly guard dog bark. She's showing off for you guys. But, and here comes my other dog to chomp her. Okay. Anyway, so my streaming schedule is going to change. I'm going to try to still do 2 lessons, either replay analysis or live lessons each week, but they're going to be at varied times at the moment. But do tune in. I'm going to try to stream a lot more of my team playing every night around 9 p.m. Eastern time. So come check my stream out Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We will be practicing. Fridays will be every once in a while. Wednesdays, I might just do replay analysis on those nights. And get down. I'll let you out in a second. Okay. And that's about it. That's all I have to say. So thanks a lot for watching. I'm sorry that this bugged. I'll try to figure out if my law replay is being weird, if it was just this specific replay that seems bugged. But thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hi, girl. Okay. And comment and tell me one thing you learned from this game, or one thing that you wish that I pointed out that I didn't, or wish that I did differently. Coda, get down. Get down. This is Dakota, everyone. She's very excited to meet you all. Alright.